Back again with head coach Drew McMinn, getting ready for game number 2 this time, as the Colonials will stay on the road. This time Georgetown going to be the opponent down in D.C. this approaching Saturday at noon. And there was, a long time ago, there was a book that later became a movie, that later became a Netflix show called A Series of Unfortunate Events. And I guess that would be one way to describe what unfolded in game number 1. Saying that, what did the team learn from those events, and what is the team doing this week to grow from them?
Yeah, a lot of it was just more of the points on execution. I mean, we felt like from a game plan standpoint, we locked in on what we wanted to do last week, but, for whatever reason, game 1 just didn't go out there and execute in the way that we had hoped to. So, and going back over the film, we realized, like always, it's small differences and a game of inches at times, where if you're not in the place you need to be and that adds up multiple times throughout a game, then it ends up being a big difference on that scoreboard. So, again, keeping the focus on what we need to do to be a better team and really just execute at the highest level we can this week.
You always talk a lot about controllables. I take it that attention to detail is one of those controllables that's going to be talked about a lot again and again and again leading into Saturday.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I mean, again, it's small differences that take place throughout an entire 60 minutes and end up making a big difference. So that's absolutely our focus right now, is really just honing in on the details on both sides of the ball and in between the lines, and cleaning some of the things up that we had mistaken last week and that we need to make sure that we're doing at a higher level this week.
Looking at special teams, it's kind of funny that during the Denison scrimmage, while we were talking with some of the players who were up there with us between periods, I think it might have been Boudreaux, I want to say, who said, "This is giving me a whole new perspective on the power play, on the man ups," and lo and behold, 1 week later, you score 4 man-up goals, which is not a common thing to do. So it's kind of funny how that works out. What impressed you the most, just from a special team standpoint, over the weekend?
Yeah, I mean, we're very confident in that unit overall, and we really hadn't worked them a lot in the beginning of the spring with having to focus on some other elements of the game, and it felt like we weren't quite as prepared as we would want to be in the scrimmages with those units, and then we worked it into practice a lot more last week. And again, from a standpoint of personnel, we're just very confident in those guys and what they're capable of doing. So got them the reps they needed last week, and then they kind of did the rest. And we were fortunate also in the 2 times that we turned the ball over in the game, we got the ball back and we were able to score in transition and man up as well. So again, certainly a unit that we expect to do big things this year, and hopefully keep that trend moving forward.
Another area in which the team seemingly didn't really miss a beat. Tyson has a big 5-point game, first hat trick ever as a Collegian. Schmidt, scored a couple of man-up goals, which was a recurring theme in 2018. So your best players seemingly, or a couple of your best players, were your best players. So that's something also I would imagine that the staff can be encouraged about.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we had, we talked to the team about, there was no question we needed more guys to step up and play the way we were capable of playing. We felt we were pretty out of character last week, just in the sense that, a lot of our personnel didn't perform up to the way that they perform on a daily basis. But, some guys did, and certainly hats off to those guys for being prepared in the way that we expected them to, and Tyson being a big one of those guys that came out and contributed at both ends of the field. And what we were most proud of is he kept that going all the way through the end of the 60 minutes. And, our philosophy is that we're not going to focus on the scoreboard or let outside factors dictate our play. And it's tough in those situations.
Yeah.
We found ourselves in a hole and not where we wanted to be. And the leadership from Tyson and the other captains bled down through the rest of the team, that we at least kept that fight going for all 4 quarters.
And now again, the energy is being focused on Georgetown, another team that is certainly capable of putting the ball in the net, another team that has a lofty reputation, coming off winning its own tournament last year. What do you guys make of the Hoyas as you scout them for this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, after coming out and really feeling that, we didn't execute it the way that we're capable of last week, as always, we're keeping a lot of the focus on what we need to do differently, because we feel that, with the results, that we had last week being what they were, we want to focus on all the things that are going to take place, throughout the 60 minutes that will take care of that scoreboard. So, it's not necessarily about Georgetown, it's more about what's Robert Morris need to do to improve upon what we did last week and be that much better out this time around.
And if there is, lastly, just a glaring or a prime key to victory that we could put our finger on, would it be that that attention to detail that we talked about?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, we're very confident in who we are as a program, and certainly did not feel that we represented ourselves the way that we wanted to last week. And, we all know it in that locker room and with our coaching staff that we're capable of playing the game at a much higher level, and that's our focus. We want to come out and play the way that we're capable of playing like we have all year. And again, Saturday we didn't see that, but we expect to rebound and get right back on track and focus on those details to play the way we need to.
Game number 2 of Bobby Moe Ball in 2019. Again, it is Georgetown that's going to be on the docket this weekend, and you can watch it at noon this approaching Saturday on guhoyas.com. Thanks, Drew.
Thanks, Matt.